Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Purified Podcast. Today is March 1st, 2020. I am your host, Luis Palacios, and my co-host, Chris.
Hello, it is me.
How's it going, my man? You doing good?
It's another good day in the hood.
I mean, yeah, technically. That's what we are, basically. All right, so once again, we are here with another episode of the Purified Podcast. There's just so much going on right now that we really got to talk about everything that's going on. Like, seriously, the amount of news that we have today for you guys is probably the most news I have seen since last month. But at the same time, it's just like, it's all over the place. For today's research, we do have a recap of the current and the last few days, specifically Pokémon Go Day, Gengar and Nidoran Raid Hour, some other miscellaneous news that we'll talk about in just a moment, and then of course we have our March Madness, March Gallore. We have tons of news to cover, so we're going to get right into it. But first, Chris, can you tell me how has it been for your Pokemon Day adventure?
Oh, it's been good. Let me tell you, man. Started off very strong. Got a shiny, had a Eevee, got the shiny Squirtle yesterday from an egg. Second egg hatch, didn't even have to use many incubators. So that was very, very nice.
Nice.
I mean, very nice surprise seeing all the people wanting to raid the clone Pokemon.
Really? I really haven't. To tell you the truth, I have not done one clone raid since they came out.
I kind of wanted to get like one of each. That's about it though.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them pass by, but I don't think I had a raid group going or anything. I mean, I know some of them are easy, like Charizard, but you still need. It's a 4-star raid, so it's not like it's the easiest thing to handle.
Yeah, I think Blastoise is probably the one that would give people a lot of trouble just with its bulk.
Yeah, definitely. So we need more than just one or two people when it comes down to it. That being said, of course, that is the first research topic that we're going to talk about. That we're talking about now, Pokemon's the recap of Pokemon Day, which gave us Armor Mewtwo, the clone Pokemon in raids, Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur, clone Pikachu in photobombing. And then, of course, all of this is going to assist with the Mewtwo Strike Back evolution coming out in Netflix. Now, the surprises of this event were as follow. When you were doing the raids for the clone Pokemons, each one of those Pokemons is going to have their Community Day moves, which is insanely good for anybody who does PvP.
Amazing.
That was the big surprise because everybody, and I mean everybody in the Pokemon Go community, was saying that there was really no point of doing more than one of these raids if you just wanted a collection of them.
Yeah.
That was the only reason why we needed to raid them. Plus the Stardust.
It's great. Great for getting the TMs, great for getting the strong Pokemon for Ultra League and Great League. So, yep.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot more people fighting them than I thought I would.
Yeah, definitely. It's just one of those things where, unless it was that kind of surprise, I don't think they would have done much from these raids, and I would have just seen a decrease in raids for that matter.
Just Mewtwo.
Yeah, that's Mewtwo. Just Army Mewtwo, which Army Mewtwo does come back in raids with the ability Side Strike. Have you done any?
I've only gotten about one. I expect to trade a few people to try and get that low attack, high HP defense, get that good ranking.
Yeah, I actually did the same. I think I got around 2 going. I think a friend of mine actually wanted to get to at least 1 or 2, depending on what it is. And we got 2. That's about it. And I'm gonna be doing the same. If I get a lucky friend who wants to just trade an Armor Mewtwo, then we'll just do a lucky trade, and I'll just probably power it up for Ultra, depending on how well the CP will go. But
yeah, I can't see it standing out too much in Master League personally compared to the normal Mewtwo with Side Strike.
Yeah, definitely. So Armor Mewtwo, Side Strike. Now the other actual surprise that we have from this event, it was that the increased spawns of Gen 1 Pokemon, specifically from the movie. So you were seeing Arcanines, Ninetales. You're seeing, I think, Nidokings or Nidorinas. And
I heard
Weekly
about
Puff.
Champ Spawn.
Yeah, Machamps. I actually caught a wild
Crazy
Machamp
stuff.
in my house, like right over
gosh.
there. If you guys see it on my screen, but if you're listening somewhere else, then you can't see it. And then Wild Dragonites, which was probably the only time I ever seen Wild Dragonites in the wild since almost 3.5 years since the game started. So. It's just one of those things. I mean, it was fun. It was fun because when you see evolution Pokemons out in the wild, you don't think that they're the best, but I mean, they're still powerful Pokemons, and things like a Dragonite, you really can't go without trying to catch one in the wild. So that is mostly the small little recaps that we have for Pokemon Day. It's still going on for another 20 or plus hours. It's going to end tomorrow on Mondays, March 2nd around 4 p.m. And that's when the next set of news and events are going to happen. So we'll get to that in just a moment when we get to it. So to go and move on to the next recap, because we do have to move along here. Gengar and Nidorino Raid Day... Raid Day. I mean, what? No, I said recap. It happened a couple hours ago. So it was today, March 1st. And I myself personally actually went on my way to go to a different location where I got to meet the one and only the Trainer Club. He was a fun guy. We were raiding in a park big enough with 10 or so gyms around the area, and we were just having ourselves a nice, awesome fun. I also met other YouTubers out there that really made the raid day a little more, I want to say funner, but more exciting than I anticipated. We had Speediest Chief 2 and
Love him.
Echo Gamers. They both actually were able to get the community together and huddle up with the Trainer Club, and everybody was just like going in and out of raids and everything. It was fun. I got one shiny, which is the shiny Gengar.
The only one that matters.
Of course. Let me see if I can actually show you guys here. Yes, the shiny Gengar with a party hat. I don't think it's a bad IVs. I think it's it's like 14, 14, 12, so it's not bad. Could have used the Shando, but never stray away from a fight there. But at the same time, I also got
some great attack though.
Yeah, that is great attack. I also got the 100% IV Nidorino with a party hat.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. The Echo Gamers actually got, on the same raid, he got the Shando of this Pokemon in the same raid. So it was like 2 Handos in the same raid. I think the Trainer Club actually got it like the one afterwards. So he didn't get the Shando, but he got the Hando too. So it was fun. I mean, this Pokemon cannot evolve, so he's going to stay a Nidorino for the rest of his lifespan. Which is kind of good, because for me, it's kind of more like I want to have like all the Handos that I can get. And even make a living Hondo Dex, but then that's never gonna happen that easily.
I mean, it's also a really rare one, but not as rare as the last Hondo you got.
Oh yes. I forgot to actually mention that. Clone Pokemon's were spawning, and Clone Pikachu.
Show them.
Yes, Clone Pikachu was photobombing us, and I got the 100% Clone Pikachu. Never evolving it because it can never evolve. So. I got a pretty good hold, I want to say.
Oh my gosh.
Chris, can you explain anything else today from those things?
I mean, I think the main thing about this event was it was a really good way for newer players to get that new Pokédex entry, get some strong Pokemon to help fight the more veteran players, or catch up, per se. Get some Pokemon for Ultra League and Master League.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It all just was a matter of making sure that we had some good people going around, play some games, It was fun. It's just fun as it is. Oh, by the way, Mr. Derp in the chat, he's actually asking. He says, "How do you play Pokemon Go without moving?" Now, well, I'm not moving, and my character is not moving. He's just drifting around every now and then between my stuff. So yeah, no, it's just I'm not doing anything. I'm basically just moving the screen around with this, and it's actually connected. So it's not
spoofer guaranteed.
No, I do not want to go into that, and I want to go into that because that's another discussion that we'll probably not get to it, but we'll see how it goes because it's been a developing story, definitely.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that recently.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that some other time. We're not going to get into the spoofing part of it, but let's just move on because we still have so much news to talk about, and we're only like 15 minutes into the podcast. Another quick miscellaneous news for everybody to talk about. We had no Spotlight Hour or Mystery Raid Hour this week. I think Niantic was actually trying to collect some more information about those, and they were just trying to pull in what they could from what they actually saw in the last 3 weeks. Which it was fine. I want to say that those are coming back, and we'll talk about it in just a moment. But it was nice to see a little change in our weekly grinds, you know. And then another piece of miscellaneous news that we have is a brand new mythical Pokemon was revealed on Pokemon Day, and that was the Cerude or Cerude. I don't know how to really say the name of it. He is the rogue monkey Pokemon. He is a dark grass type, the same as Shiftry, but he was revealed to be the next mythical Pokemon in both Sword and Shield. They did say that it's a possibility that also kind of come out in Pokemon Go, but we're still yet to see any information on that. So for now, we only have what the Pokemon looks like, how he looks like in Sword and Shield gameplay, and the typing. That's pretty much it. Although he's a lot bigger than you expect, though, right?
Yeah, they did show him a little bit in the preview of the movie that has the shiny Celebi in it, and he was a lot bigger than like the 10-year-old boy he was carrying. So I'd put him at around 8 feet, but that could be grossly bigger because like look at how big Charizard is compared to Ash.
Yeah, and we're definitely probably only gonna have like one of them, but just imagine shiny Celebi in Pokemon Go.
Oh yes. if they ever let you raid or do anything to get mythical Pokemon, I think people will like pay like out the wazoo to get it, you know?
Well, I think there's gonna be something interesting when it comes down to it, and it's not going to really be when like we can only get one mythical technically, but the shiny is going to be an interesting intake once they do introduce a mythical shiny into the game. We technically are gonna get it in the next month, so we'll talk about that in just a second when it comes down to it.
Yeah, hopefully it's like a giveaway like what GameStop does or any of the other video game places to give out the mythical shinies. I'm hoping.
Definitely. They're going to be probably doing an event for that, but we'll see how that works when we get to it because there's no information. There's nothing in the in-game. I mean, we have the shiny sprites for every mythical, but we just don't have a way to, they don't have a way to put it into the game just yet.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that one under wraps until we see more information, but again, I'm not holding my breath until I actually do see it. So, all right. So the biggest part of what this podcast is going to be, the match galore that we're going to be having, the biggest events the Pokemon Go has released, and it's just insane that everything was dropped on one day, and the amount of information we're about to discuss. Get ready. So this is coming from the news source from Pokemon Go Live, so their very own news source. We have starter bonuses, we have Shadow Entei, we have Thundurus in Race, we have and way more in March, and this is coming specifically for them. So we're gonna talk about in the bullet points that they have. If you go to the website, you can probably see it. I'll definitely put it on the live stream eventually, but if not, then just listen to it. Okay. So first of all, we have Shadow Entei coming into the Team Rocket lineup. So Giovanni is now using Shadow Entei as their Shadow Pokemons. I'm actually almost done with the special research for it because I held back one, so I don't have a Shadow Zapdos, so I actually have one ready to go, and then I can move over and get ready.
I'm so
for
bad
the
at
next
that.
one. Yeah, I just do it that way because one, I didn't care about shiny Zapdos or Shadow Zapdos, and two, I was like, you know what, I'll just do it this way, so it's a little bit easier in my take. So all I have to do is just defeat the team leaders, and then I'll find Giovanni eventually.
Yeah, I'm really mad I missed out on Raikou though. Like that's the one I really want.
Yeah, Shadow Raikou was okay. I mean, I could have gotten another one, but again, I wasn't too like prompt to wanting to get them, so. It's one of those things when it comes down to it. Now, the second part, we have more news to this. The March research breakthrough encounter was going to be Ferroseed with bonus Stardust. Now, this actually applies to today at 4 o'clock. That's when the research breakthrough switch over to Ferroseed. And we actually know the amount of Stardust we're going to get every time. So it's around 5,000 Stardust every time you open a research breakthrough box. If with a star piece is around 7,500, and that's gonna go through the entire March month. So, and since we have specifically 4 weekends, we're basically gonna see a 4-month cycle on this. I mean, that's the interesting part, right? All right.
Yeah. Stardust is nice.
And then we have Thunderous Bolts into the 5-star raids, a month of legendary special raid the weekends, a mystery weekend event coming, a Tingle Rocket global takeover, the Psychic Spectacular returns with new faces, and the Pokemon Spotlight Hour and Mystery Bonus Hours return. Now, I did say those bullet points a little bit quicker because I am going to scroll down and actually see more of them in just a moment, and we'll talk about it in just a moment there. I also want to mention this. This is actually coming from Niantic themselves, is that in-game events for March may vary in the following areas until further notice. Players in these areas can stay tuned to the channels for updates. The areas affected to this are, of course, Japan, South Korea, and Italy. Now, the reason why they're doing that is because they wanted to actually make sure that, as you guys know, the outbreak of the coronavirus is happening more and more often. So they want to make sure that the players are safe. And they're going to adjust to specific areas for now until we have a more concrete solution, of course. Now, again, this may seem unfair to some players, but again, you guys have to see that this is actually to make sure that every single one of the persons is safe. Niantic doesn't want to be the cause of another outbreak somewhere else when it comes down to it. So just bear with them. Don't go too overboard with the media about it. Just stay safe, guys. That's all we're asking for.
I mean, it's really important for them to remember they are going to reschedule it, most likely. So It's not like they're taking it away completely.
Definitely. And they have done this in the past before, so especially with like hurricanes and earthquakes happening around the world. Just basically just stay with them for now. And we'll see that you get compensated for the events that are being rescheduled. So just bear with them, all right, guys? All right, so we already talked about Shadow Entei, Research Breakthrough, Thunderous. Another brand new legendary Pokemon is gonna come on March 2nd at 1 p.m. Pacific time, which is actually 4 p.m. Eastern time for us. And they basically just told us, I mean, that it's a new legendary. They're probably gonna be the entire month, but they do not give an end date to Thunderous. I mean, it's most likely just going to be a month, right, Chris?
Yeah, I'm feeling like it's going to go the whole month.
Yeah, it's just going to take it away at the end of the time, and by the time we're at the end of this month, we're just gonna be like, okay, we're just gonna be going to a brand new one, depending on what it is. We have another one coming up probably next month, anyways, but we'll see how they recycle this time around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then the biggest part of this March Gallore here is that a month of legendary special raid weekends.
Yes.
For the entire month of March, a different legendary Pokemon is going to appear in 5-star raids for the entire month. Every single weekend that you see here, and we're going to talk about this specifically. The first weekend, Darkrai Special Raid Weekend will happen from Friday, March 6th at 8 a.m. to Monday, March 9 at 10 p.m. Local time. If you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny Darkrai.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Now, we were talking about how they're going to introduce some shiny mythical Pokemon. Darkrai is considered a mythical Pokemon in Pokemon Go. You cannot trade it with anybody, just like the Oxus and Mew or Celebi. So this is actually one way of how they could release a mythical Pokemon. However, some Pokemons, of course, they're mythical. So having only one of them, it's one of those things. Now, Darkrai is a special case, so far.
I mean, look at Deoxys too.
That's true. Deoxys was also a special case, but that was actually introduced in EX raids and then released into the the regular raids for a special week, I think, during the time off. So, I mean, Deoxys is Deoxys depending on what you're using. And then Darkrai is, of course, another shiny mythical Pokemon they're going to have. So get out there, do those raids, because that is the only time you're ever going to get shiny Darkrai.
Can't depend on anyone else, only yourself.
Correct. You cannot trade this Pokemon. Unless they do as a surprise during the weekend, but I'm pretty sure they're going to leave it like that.
Honestly.
Yeah, so next weekend, carrying over, Alter Form Giratina Special Raid Weekend will happen from Friday, March 13 at 8 a.m. until Monday, March 16 at 10 p.m. local time. If you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny Altered Form Giratina. Now, this is a Pokemon we already had. There's nothing really much different specially, but he is good in both Ultra and Master League. So you do want to see if you want to get yourself a good one. Now, Chris, you already got me my Hundo. Thank you very much.
Good Master League, yeah.
But I don't have the shiny. So I do have to. I gotta get the Shando. I gotta get the shiny. Either one of them works as long as I don't have to spend more Stardust on one.
Yeah, I still need the shiny, I believe.
Yeah, I don't have the shiny. I was surprised that I didn't get the shiny when we were doing that many raids. But anyways, moving on. We got Cobalion Spatial Raid Weekend will happen from Friday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to Monday, March 23rd at 10 p.m. local time. These Cobalions will know the event exclusive attack Sacred Sword. And if you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny Cobalion.
They moved him out really fast for their shiny.
Yeah, definitely. That was probably the fastest introduction from Cobalion being into raids into a shiny form Cobalion raid. It's interesting, but at the same time, it's also going to have the Sacred Sword. Now, you're only going to be able to get Sacred Sword Cobalion during the special raid weekend. So make sure that you do enough that weekend to get it. Even if you only get the shiny or a good IB, I mean, he's still going to have Sacred Sword. I don't know the stats on them yet. I don't know how they're going to work on that.
I'm not sure if they're in yet, to be honest.
So we'll see how that works. Maybe that will make him one of the most powerful fighting attack Pokemon we have out there, depending on what it is.
He's got a really interesting type. Steel fighting?
Yeah, I think so. Let's check the game because we actually have it here.
Okay.
Nope, that's not how you spell him.
Because he's got some weaknesses.
Yeah, so he's still fighting. Okay. He's basically weak to what? No, he's not weak to fairy types.
I mean, he's almost the same as Dialga, I suppose.
True.
Other than Ice.
Yeah, so he has a different typing, an interesting typing. So we'll see if the actual Sacred Sword will do something about it. Plus, it's a shiny, so you never know. It's a brand new shiny. People want to probably do it, so we're gonna have to get another raid day going that time.
Every shiny.
Shiny. And then the last weekend of March, we have been happening from March 27th to March 30th. Of course, the same times as I mentioned before. Lugia Special Raid Weekend happening once again. But this time, it's going to come with exclusive move, Aeroblast. Which is finally his signature move in the game. After how many years has it been since Lugia has come out?
I'm pretty sure he came out the first year, right? Well, the first year that they had raids in, which was the second year, I believe.
That is true.
So
that is true.
He's been in for like a year and a half.
Actually, he's been in since the very first time they introduced raids when GoFest came out the first time, remember?
Yep, with Articuno. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
like as soon as the first what's it called? GoFest was in.
Yeah, as soon as they announced raids and everything, Lugia was the very first Pokemon to come out alongside Articuno. It's been that long since we actually have Lugia. We had shiny
Poor
form of
guy.
Lugia. We can still get shiny forms of Lugia. But after all this time, we finally get his special move in the game.
A lot of speculation is that it's going to make him a lot better too, but we'll see.
We don't know the stats yet, not that I
Yeah.
have at least seen around. So we'll see how he actually competes in the current meta. Hopefully he'll be good. But, I mean, I've seen a couple of Lugias already, but maybe Aeroblast actually gives him like a community day moment, you know?
He is really chunky.
So yeah, he also be very, very hard to kill.
Yeah.
So that is the legendary special raid weekends, guys. Make sure you go out there. Make sure that you go and do those raids. Shinies all around. I don't know if they're gonna actually implement them, but with tornadoes, I'm pretty sure they're gonna turn off tornadoes during the weekend. But I'm not sure how that's gonna work for them. We'll see what the first one
Hopefully.
go around.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm sure during the raid hour. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't be a raid hour, would it? Since it's the weekend.
Yeah, we have technically 3 days to do any of these raids, from
I
Fridays
hope they turned it
to
off.
Mondays. So I'm definitely gonna be doing Darkrai. That's not a question. Nothing.
Hands down.
Hands down. When you guys see us next weekend on Sundays for this podcast, we'll definitely be talking about that. And if I'm lucky, I probably won't have to work on Monday, but we'll see. I'm probably gonna have to work on Monday. That's not a question, but depending on what it is. Anyways, more raids, more life, Pokemon Go life. All right, so moving on to more events. The Mystery Weekend event is coming from Friday, March 20th at 8 a.m. to Monday, March 23rd at 10 p.m. You can look forward to the following features, starter bonuses, and more. The features will be normal, fire, water, electric, and ice-type Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild. Nincada will also be available. It will appear in the wild and hatching more from 5-kilometer eggs. If you're lucky, you might even encounter a shiny Nincada.
I'm excited for that.
I'm actually excited too. This is the first time we actually see Nincada in the wild. That's actually a pretty good saying that they're not going to be focusing on eggs anymore. I mean, they're still going to be an eggs.
I don't even think I've hatched one for a while.
I haven't really seen one in a long time, since probably a good half a year or something.
Yeah, it was like in Quest, the last I got
I
one.
think he was in 10Ks at one point. I can't remember though.
Maybe for a little while, and then people got really mad or
That's
something.
true. One takeaway from that is that, I mean, he is going to have a shiny form. Are we gonna see Shedinja too?
You know what I'm thinking?
What?
I'm thinking they're gonna release the bug fire one.
Volcarona?
From Yep.
Dude,
Yep, because it's a big bug event, and they're like they got the bug steel.
Oh
so they
man, you just got me super excited. I love Volcarona.
I'm
Laboratory.
hoping. I'm praying.
Oh my god, dude. Let's not get our hopes up. That's just a speculation. It's just a moment of hopefully it's gonna happen or not. But I mean, that is one part of that event. Carablast and Shelmet will be hatching more often out of 5K eggs, which is actually pretty good
cool.
because I mean you kind of need the candies to evolve them. There's 200 candies to evolve them.
You can hatch it and then evolve it right away if you got a bud with you.
That's true.
So that's cool.
And of course, if you trade them, you actually just reduce it. But you want a lucky for that, or at least something that is actually going to be good IVs at that point.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and of course, 1-star to 4-star raids throughout the weekend will feature more bug and steel type Pokemon. Please give us Riolu or Lucario on raids, please.
Riley raid would be gorgeous.
Oh my god, you know the amount of people will actually want to do that Riolu's raids? It's
Dude,
just basically like
IVs.
it's like Shink's raids at this point.
Nobody believed it was shiny.
And then they do him. Steel types, of course, and then that actually could be an indication that Shedinja could be in the bug raids. Now, of course, he'll probably be level 1, taken down in 2 seconds.
One hit, yeah.
One hit KO and all that, but yeah, you know, in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Shedinja's raid, then he has like 10 shields.
Really?
10 or so shields.
I don't think I've fought one, so that's
I haven't
interesting.
won either, but I actually saw one online, and it was like, oh, you got 10 shields. Done. Literally, somebody just pressed the attack button, and that's it.
That is pretty funny.
I mean, Shedinja just in the regular games, he only has 1 HP, so he's not going to overtake anything, do anything when it comes down to it. That's why they put him at that disadvantage, but at the same time gave him like all the shields in the world. He probably still has Wonder Guard in the games, but I mean, there's no point. You do one Shadow Ball or one Dark Knight move, and that's all it is.
Yeah, unless you're a noob, you're going to be taking it out.
Correct. So the bonuses for this Mysterious Weekend event is going to be 2 times Cash Stardust and 2 times Hatch Stardust. That means that we're actually getting more Stardust as we go along. Make sure you get those the star pieces ready to go for the event.
Oh, yes. We're getting dust.
And of course, there is this little piece of information. This weekend event will also be accompanied by a brand new special research story event. More details to come. So the closer we get to that weekend, or to that week specifically, actually it's a weekend, right? March 20th to the 23rd?
20th? I believe so.
20th.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
So it's going to be during, I think, Cobalion's raid weekend. Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
So we'll see different bugs and steel types, and then, of course, Cobalion, plus a brand new special research.
Steel.
The special research, though, may be interesting. They may actually put Ninja in that way, in that regard. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so the next piece of news we have is the Team Go Rocket global takeover is now imminent once again. This is probably the 3rd time that a takeover has happened. I think so, right?
I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah, the 3rd time that they're massively going across for an hour or so.
Yes. So basically, every single stop will actually be going over to Team Rockets. That means that every single one of them you can battle. Now, from Friday, March 6th, which is actually this coming weekend, to March 9, Poison and Dark type Pokemons will be appearing more often in the wild, as well as other Pokemon related to Team Go Rocket. We have reports that Absol is one of those Pokemon that will appear in the wild.
Yes.
Regardless of how come you come across it, any Scorpio you find could be shiny if you're lucky.
I'm very happy.
So shiny Absol and shiny Scorpio being the brand new shiny of this event, of course. On Saturday, March 7, you're really gonna do this on raid day? Really? Anyways, we'll be out for that day anyway, so there's not much difference on that.
Yeah.
March 7th to 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time, which is actually pretty good because I get off at 2. We have word that Team Go Rocket will take over, will happen all around. All the Pokestops will cease into Team Go Rocket's control. Sierra, Cliff, and Arlo, and even Giovanni himself will also be more active. So you might want to run them more easily if you keep the Rocket Radar or Super Radar equipped. That's basically saying, please buy them more from the shop. Because, I mean, yeah, it's a takeover for 3 hours, but, I mean, if you're well enough, you can actually do all 3 of them and plus Giovanni in those 3 hours. We noticed that Shadow Pokemon's rescue from Team Go Rocket leaders have a chance of being shiny, while Team Go Rocket leaders have switched up their teams. Since their first appearance, during this takeover, you will be able to rescue all 6 of the Shadow Pokemon that the trainer has seen left behind by Team Go Rocket leaders.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's the only chance we're ever gonna see those Pokemons. It's actually pretty nice that they're seeing shiny Beldum or shiny Pinsir, shiny Meowth. All those Pokemon that usually the Team Go Rocket leaders had, we're actually gonna be able to see them. So that's pretty good. At least they're actually implementing every single one of them. But we'll see how they actually do, how many you're actually going to be able to do in the 3-hour window. That being said, during the takeover, you'll be able to use a Charge TM to change a Shadow Pokemon's exclusive attack, Frustration, to other charge moves that Pokemon can learn normally. Please note that if you purify the Shadow Pokemon afterwards, it will still learn Return, replacing the attack learned via Charge TM. What do you think about that?
I think this could be huge for PvP if the Shadow bonus ends up being implemented sometime soon. I'm not so sure which ones would benefit the most. I assume it would just be the Pokemon that are normally very OP in PvP, but you're only going to really be able to give it a one charge move. I mean, it's like 200,000 to give it a second charge move, so nobody really wants to invest in that unless if they give it like a huge boost. But there's still not much word on if they're ever going to put in the boost anytime soon, you know?
Yeah, there was an in-game actually. If you go to the Shadow Pokemons right now, there is a Shadow bonuses. They're both gym and raids, and then trainer battles too. Now we don't know if they're actually implemented into anything yet. We'll see how really
it could be small. It could not even be implemented ever. So I don't know.
I think that there will be a chance for them to be implemented. And that's why they're doing the charge TM changes during that takeover.
I mean, if they end up implementing that, the way that I'm expecting it to be is that Purified are going to be able to like overtake the Shadow. The Shadows are going to be usually stronger than the normal Pokemon.
Yeah, but
I don't know if the normal would be stronger than the Purified though. So I don't know.
We'll see how when the day actually comes, guys. But for sure that there's going to be some kind of like movement when it comes down to Shadow Pokemons.
A lot of speculation, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow Pokemons are actually pretty unique in its own way. It's kind of funny that you only see them to be able to purify them, and that's it. I mean, you can get your Hondos that way if you actually are lucky enough. But there's really not much from a Shadow Pokemon's perspective that really wants you to use it, especially since Return was actually lower in PvP stats, you know.
It used to be so good.
It used to be. It used to be, but then it was just like pluck down the drain.
Yeah, and there's only like 2 Pokemon now that benefit from Return, like Sableye, I believe. Yeah, but even people don't use that too much.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But again, I mean, Shadow Pokemons are really hard to power up anyway, so you're spending a lot of dust for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so be careful when you do. Just make sure you're careful on what you're doing in there. Anyways, defeating a Team Go Rocket Run and leaders will earn you twice as the usual Stardust. So from the usual 500, you'll probably be getting 1,000 plus a star piece.
That is awesome.
That is good. That is good. So that is going to be according to Screen events. Make sure you get your big Pokemons coming up, guys. And then, of course, turn on your in-game music. The Team Go Rocket music will be playing.
Is that the music they played in like the trailers for the leaders and everything?
They had, I think, a specific one for the Team Go Rocket one in game. I only listened to it for a little bit, but of course, if you want to listen to this podcast while you play, do so.
That works.
All right, so we have another event. As you guys know, this is too many events and happening, guys. So bear with us again. The Psychic Spectacular returns with new faces. We use Fuster Sight, and one thing is for certain. I can't even speak today. The psychic speculation is coming back from far. See, I can't say nothing today.
Tongue twister, boy.
From Friday, March 27th at 8 a.m. to Monday, March 30th at 10 p.m. local time. You can look forward to this. Features. More Psychic type Pokemon spheres discovered in the Unova region will make their Pokemon Go debut. I can't really say that word for some reason. During the daytime, you will be able to encounter Solosis, the Cell Pokemon in the wild, and during the evening, you'll be instead encountering Gatita, the Fixation Pokemon. Solosis and Gatita will be available after the event in the wild and in 5km X. Now, this is actually pretty good to introduce one.
They're great Pokemon.
Yeah, and the thing about this one is that they're not putting them in X first. They're putting it in the wild and then into X. So it's a way to fix the whole, egg galore that we had last month.
Yeah, pay for Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll still be able to catch them, be around for them. And it's going to be fun because I actually like both of those Pokemon. They have a very cool design.
Yeah, I love Solosis, one of my favorite psychic Pokemon.
Yeah, and then Gatica also has a very nice little dark type to it, and I think his evolution is pretty cool too. So
yeah, it's kind of like a goth Gardevoir, I think is what everyone calls it.
Yeah, that's basically what they do with that. But I'm excited about those. I mean, we're not going to get them in almost until the end of the month, but we're still going to have some fun with that for sure. Following that, the following psychic type Pokemons will be hatching more often of 2KX, Abra, Drowsy, Ralts, Spoink, Bolton, Wynot, Beldum, Gotica, and Solosis. So actually they'll be introducing 2KX before they actually introducing 5KX, which is actually pretty good. And of course all of those Pokemons can be shiny. We'll talk about that in just a moment too. If you're lucky, you might find yourself a shiny Bolton. That's what I was saying.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him so much.
Yeah, Bolton is actually a pretty good PvP contender. We gotta shiny flex them, you know.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like the color, the blue that it gets in the lines instead of the red for the clay on Baltoy.
Yeah, definitely. So shiny Bolton, guys, another Pokemon that you're able to find. I'm pretty sure they're still going to be in the wild too. So
for sure.
Don't be too scared not to actually use X. And they're 2KX, so they're not like the biggest thing in the world to hatch. So, Psychic type Pokemons will be featured in raids, and you'll see them more often in the wild. Just as I mentioned, you'll see them in raids, you'll see them in the wild. Don't be discouraged just because they're in X, but that is another way that they introduce them too. So, they're fixing their events. This is what we wanted to see. Enjoy the psychic speculation field research throughout the event period. So we'll probably have either a special research or more research research in the wild for them.
Be some fun ones for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Probably gotta be like, catch 5 of this or catch this and that, and or evolve this psychic type Pokemon or something like that. Either one of them. Yeah. That's usually what it comes down to,
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I mean, so far I think this one is actually one of the easiest, most recognizable events we actually had from way back in the day, and how they were introducing new Pokemons and new things into our Dexes, basically,
Yeah, I mean, new Pokemon and the rest are basically all shiny.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I mean, Drowsy, Ral, Spoink, Bolter now, Wynot, Beldum, Gotica, and Solosis. I mean, the only two that you're not going to get shiny are Gotica and Solosis just because they're being introduced. But everything else is being introduced. Now, I did miss one, but there's a reason for that, and we'll get to it in just a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so... And then, of course, we have a final update about Pokemon Spotlight Hour and Mystery Bonus Hours. This is coming from them specifically, so if I sound robotic, it's because I'm reading from them. Thank you, trainers, for all the feedback on these experimental events. For the month of March, we are happy to report that we'll be continuing testing these new ideas, but we want to provide some information in advance so you can prepare for these hour-long mini events that are meant to complement your gameplay. Pokemon Spotlight Hour, you can expect a surprising amount of Pokemon appear in the wild for 1 hour at 6 p.m. local time every Tuesday of the month of March. Mystery Bonus Hour, this hour-long mini event will return every Thursday at 6 p.m. local time during the month of March. You can expect bonuses for things like candy, Stardust, and experience. Log in at 6 p.m. to see what the mystery bonus is. Now, I'm happy that they're announcing that they're going to actually return with those. I actually like them a lot. And it's one of those things where you don't expect to happen until you actually see it,
I was waiting. I was waiting for it to be shiny.
Yeah, I know, right? That would have been fun to see in there. I was just catching a Eevee with a party hat in my screen right now, so...
You would have been screaming.
I would have been screaming at that point. But anyways, that is one of those things that is returning. I like it. I think that, because of all these events and all the things that are happening, seeing more Pokemons in the wild for Spotlight Hour actually feels more beneficial for different events that we have,
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise, and it kind of, compliments them, I guess.
Yeah, I want to go.
Relax with.
I want to go back to probably 2 years in the past for this. There was one time where they said, "Oh, we're just gonna increase the spawn rates for every single one of the Pokemons." When they did that, I remember going to my college at the time and seeing literally 30 Pokemons on my screen in one spawn point.
Yeah, so, I remember the clusters before.
Yeah, so that was actually fun because you don't know what to catch, you don't know what to see. And that was like the funny thing about the game is just that, there's more and more going on. When you see more Pokemons, you are more intent to catch them. So make sure you restock as much as possible. The Mystery Bonus Hours, of course, are going to feature different things every single week. So once we see that it's a Stardust event, we're probably gonna go hunt it. I do want to see maybe a combination of the both. The only reason why I say that is because if you want to do Stardust, you gotta put more lures up, you're gonna put more insects up, you're gonna put everything that you can to get more Pokemons to appear. But you know, the things about those are fairly new unless you have like the bonuses of the Pokemon Spotlight Hour, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe they'll seem more experimental about this. Maybe they'll combine them at one point, but we'll see how it really works. Since it's only 1 hour, it's not like you need to like mega grind for it every single second of it. But it is a nice way of changing your weekly usual amount of information about it, you know?
Yeah, it gives you something to look forward to, you know?
Definitely. All right, and that is pretty much it for the news. As you guys can see, it was a lot. I just they're really emphasizing to make sure that you want to play this game every day for the month of March, right?
Oh yeah, every day.
I mean, we
get that dust.
You and I, we always play it every day, but still, it's kind of insane that how much we actually need to look forward to for the rest of the month. It's crazy, and some people are actually feeling like it's gonna be a little bit of a burn for them.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
But I feel like there's more to come when those days come around. Now, tomorrow is gonna be the first of the events. Technically, Tornadoes is gonna be the first thing that we're gonna see in the wild, in raids. But then after that, we're gonna have event after event after event for the rest of it. Now, what do you think of the format they're doing? Before, they would usually announce the events maybe a day or so before the week began. Now they're announcing everything in one swept hoop about it.
I love it because people can plan accordingly, you know, instead of just being rushed last minute.
That is true.
I mean, you also got to look at it. They do have a little bit of mystery behind some of the events, like the event where, I mean, other than the mystery bonus hour, the one that they say a mysterious weekend is coming for March 20th to March 23rd. I like that they don't write out and tell you all the information. They can still keep what they want to keep a mystery, but you can still plan according to that, you know?
That is true. And yeah, just as you said, I think it's just a way to prepare us for everything that's come. So one thing that you guys probably want to do is probably just get a calendar, have everything set up for alarms when everything starts going over. I'm pretty sure if you actually have Pokemon Go Twitter notifications on, you'll see like the events pop up the moment they go live. So make sure you prepare accordingly. Make sure you stock up, get ready to go, do whatever you can. So it's good because now you actually expect the events before they actually happen, and you can plan accordingly between work or school or whatever else that you need to do, of course. So make sure that you guys are prepared for those events because March is going to be insane. Keep following on social medias, of course, on the Twitter and everything, because we'll probably be posting a lot of what is to come, and then we'll talk about each and one of those events as they go along.
Yeah, I think it's excellent.
Yeah, so maybe we won't have as much news for the rest of the month for sure, but we'll see what we can do to talk about what we have seen and what our experiences are for each of one of those weeks. So keep on lookout for the next few podcasts and see what else we have for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one thing that I wanted to talk about that I didn't put in the show notes is that, as you guys know, the data miners are large, and they talk about a lot of different things, just as, you know, what they come up when the game pushes certain things into the game file. One of them being the Abra Community Day. Technically has not been announced yet, but it has been found in the files that is going to be our next Community Day. Now, they did tease us a bit about how they're going to do it, but they haven't really announced that it's going to be Abra for Community Day. We're only 2 weeks away before it, though.
Did they announce what day it would be on? I don't remember.
No, they haven't announced a date or what Pokemon it should be.
Because it is interesting if it does end up being Abra, which, I mean, it's really very likely. But especially with that psychic event, if it happens afterwards, you can stock up on a bunch of candies before it even happens. But I don't
Yeah,
know, it's pretty
but I
likely
think
they'll
that,
be
that I
before
think
that.
the data miners actually did uncover that it was going to be on the weekend of the 14th, I think.
Okay.
So
That's pretty soon though.
that is pretty soon. So I'm surprised they haven't really announced it. Now they did tease it a couple of days ago with a little Twitter that they did, but they really haven't, done much since then. And I'm surprised they haven't announced anything. I'm pretty sure once Pokemon Day is over or between tomorrow, they're going to do something about it, or they're going to say something about it, because it's getting close. It's 2 weeks from now, and that's not giving us another time to prepare if you really haven't read the data miners,
Sometimes I feel like they forget.
Probably.
To be honest.
I know, right?
Hey, did you hit send? No.
Another thing that actually the data miners uncovered was a special research called a Drive to Investigate. And this is actually a ticketed event. Now, a ticket event, it was just the same as Regigigas. You pay for the event, $8 or whatever else that it was, and then you play the event for the certain amount of time. And this special research was only happening through that specific amount of time. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to be the mythical Pokemon Genesect.
Yes, please.
I do think that is a good assumption when it comes down to the whole drive thing, because Genesect is the man-made Pokemon that actually it's powered up by other disc or their something that, or drives that you put into the Pokemon, and they change its typing or the type of attacks that it has in the main series. Now, the only reason why I think it's just as normal speculation is because, yes, it's a ticketed event, so it's gonna be probably a Pokemon that you haven't seen before, and or the way that they pronounce the title of it. Now, again, this is just from the Dynamatters, so that we haven't really actually come across any more information until they actually do announce it themselves. Now, if this is gonna happen in the month of March, we don't know. We may happen next month. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they will announce the details of that eventually, but with everything that's happened this next few weeks, it's amazing that they think that we can still do one more special research throughout those 3 weekends or 4 weekends of a lot of stuff,
Yeah, you're right.
So now, do think, actually, no, I'm wrong. Now, let me go back to the one special mystery weekend coming.
Mm-hmm.
That we have the bug event, the bug Pokemons appearing more in the wild in 4-star race and everything.
Ooh.
Bug and steel type Pokemons.
Is that
That's Genesect's type.
Ooh, so you think that might be the mystery?
This event weekend event will be accompanied by a brand new special research story event.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably very right.
So somewhere around March 20th or before March 20th, when they announce this, I'm pretty sure that Genesect is going to be the typing of the Pokemon we're gonna see. Now, technically, it was something that shouldn't actually, speculate at this point, because this hasn't really been announced what the special research is going to be. But the way that they worded, the way that they found the data mining, and the way that they're making this bug steel type event for all of us, kind of sounds like it's going to be Genesect at that point.
I think the types are also kind of relative to the drives that he has too, so it definitely makes a lot more sense than Volcarona.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would have been fine if it was Volcarona, but I mean, Genesect seems like the most likely candidate when it comes down to this.
Yeah, you're right.
So, be prepared, guys. We may see Genesect, another brand new mythical Pokemon introduced into Pokemon Go. So,
you need a Cryogonal?
Yeah. Don't worry about that. I'll get it eventually.
Aw.
I know. Don't cry about it. Don't worry. All right. So we only have a few minutes left in the podcast, guys. Chris, it's been an amazing time to talk about all these events and speculate about everything else. I do want to go over just a small little thing, one more piece of information that we have. The preseason date for the Go Battle League, it's not going to end on the 1st. So technically, it should have ended today. That was the last day that the preseason was going to be. because of I think a little more testing and a little more bug fixing, they have changed the date to March 13. So we have another 2 weeks, I think, of the Go Battle League.
A little bit less, just a tiny bit less.
Yeah, just a tiny bit less than 2 weeks. But on Friday, March 13 is when technically season 1 of the Go Battle League will begin. Chris, have you done any of the Master League battles since they switch over?
I keep getting my butt kicked because I don't have an Origin Giratina, I don't have an Altered Giratina, and I don't have a Dialga. So everyone's just sweeping me.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
So I would say, you got me the Altered Form Giratina, so I was actually happy to be able to power that up before all of this actually happened. Technically, Origin Form is better, but I see more success with Alter Form than anything. Now, I did my 5 battles. I haven't done much since then, but I did my 5 battles, and I actually went 5-0 with a relatively good team, actually. If I go over here, I have the team of Melmetal, which is at 96%, so it's not fully, the 100% that we needed. My 100%.
Still, that's a good one.
Yeah. My, of course, 100% Alter Form Giratina, and then my 100% Rhyperior. Now, 2 of those Pokemon you got for me, right?
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. I know that you can do it. Unfortunately, some days I can't play, and he's the only one who actually trusts with my account to do it. Now, I know that that's not me playing the game, but that's just, if it wasn't that because he went to get the Rhyperior, I don't think he would have done much. I wanted to get shiny Alter Form Giratina for a long time. Instead of getting a shiny, he got me the Hundo, so you can't really go wrong with that when it comes down to it. So
close enough, yeah.
Close enough. But anyways, guys, looks like that is it for all the information today. Chris, are you excited?
I'm really excited for Go Battle League to actually start. I'm very interested to see if they limit anything, but from what I'm hearing from a lot of friends and fellow PvPers, they think it's just going to be open again for the first season, just to let everyone use the Pokemon that they already invested in, and then making limitations in the future, so it'll be more exciting for the more seasoned players, I suppose. Yeah, that's what I'm speculating, at least.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how it really goes. I think all of this really month and a half that we had of this, it has actually given Niantic a way to implement the changes that we need. Maybe take a page out of Silk Arena and actually limit the type of Pokemon we're gonna see in each league depending on the season. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a full season of Grey League. Maybe we'll see a full season of Ultra League or Master League, depending on what it is. So who knows? We'll see how they actually implement those changes and hopefully fix more of the issues that they're having. But as it is, I think Go Battle League is almost ready to go for a full season breakthrough. So maybe the rewards could be a little bit better, but
Yeah, I've been pretty happy with most of it. I think the only thing I would complain about personally is it feels like the normal PvP's been a little bit more laggy than usual.
Yeah,
because of all the people getting into it.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe they'll strengthen their online capabilities when it comes down to it. So maybe that's why they need a little extra time to finish it off. So anyways, guys, again, be prepared. March is going to be an insane month of news and an insane month of events. Make sure you go out there, do what you can, play as much as you can. Nobody's actually telling you to play all the events, but it will be nice to see and talk about this. Now, of course, if you want to keep on talking and discussing everything that we have around here, make sure that you send us an email, of course, at thepurifiedpodcast@gmail.com. You can also communicate with me over Twitter. Chris, anywhere that they can find you?
Yeah, I'd say Twitter is going to be the best place if you want to @ me at Christo, Chris, TO0517, if you want to message me anything.
Definitely. And of course, if you want to leave a text or voice message, of course, just go over to the number 941-417-9243. Guys, I'm expecting more emails and calls if you guys want to listen to more about me. We'll talk about them in the podcast, but of course, with all the events and everything that we had to talk about, we'll see how it goes. So until I hear one, you guys will be the very first one to talk about things. So, and then of course, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us on the live stream today. Thank you so much, Mr. Derp, Nick, Pablo. I mean, we didn't have a lot of turnout, but I'm pretty sure that it's still pretty fun to see this live,
Oh, yeah.
But Chris, thank you very much once again to join me for tonight's podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
It's been very fun.
Of course. And everybody else, keep playing the game. Don't burn yourself out, of course, and have a nice time, all right? You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys in next week.